Few days ago, I had a health scare that I hadn't had in many, many years, and it really hit me in a way that I did not expect. Because when you retire, your relationship with your body changes in significant way. Your health stops being a background concern and actually ends up being an actual priority and your most important asset. So when you're working, health concerns actually are inconveniences. They interrupt your work day. You take a sick day at work. You push through it like I always did. You say, I'll deal with it later. But when you're retiring, you realize something very uncomfortable. Your whole lifestyle depends on your health and how you feel. Travel, freedom, independence, and a healthy lifestyle with your family is all that really matters now. It can make every little symptom that much louder. So a few days ago, I started feeling a little off. It wasn't much dramatic, but it was gradually growing. I had some discomfort in my legs for about a day or two. And then one morning at between 12 and 3 a.m., my legs started to really feel something strange. And a wave of heat was taking over my body. I had night hot flashes, just like passing through my body like waves. So after a very sleepless night, then the first thing I did was I Googled it to see what it could possibly be. And suddenly I'm reading about heart issues, aging problems, chronic problems, things that can accumulate over time. This is not something you want to read about when you just enter into early retirement and you have no more outpatient insurance. And then your mind starts thinking, is this how the decline starts? No one warns you about this mental shift in retirement. So after a day or two and heavy coaxing from my wife, I finally went to visit the doctor, which was the smart thing to do. It's something that I usually always resisted. And I'm glad I went because I got peace of mind that it wasn't anything super serious, at least yet. And it was something that I could manage. But it was the stress of not knowing what it could have been, that knowing now what it probably is makes it easier to let it go. This is a problem that can happen with men regularly over 50, and it was something that I wasn't aware of, and it actually did cause me to look into the top issues that men over 50 face so that I could potentially avoid them and prevent them, or at least minimize the impact. So that was a huge relief for me. And now I feel fine again. But the diagnosis wasn't the real win. It was the realization that in retirement, your body is your biggest investment. You can have a great financial plan, you can have a lot of wealth, you can have a perpetual money loop, but if you don't have your health, all of it means nothing. So that really hit me hard. So here's what I learned from this. Don't ignore the small symptoms. Second, Google is not your doctor. Stress from uncertainty of the problem is worse than the actual appointment with a doctor to know what's wrong. And the fourth one is preventative health issues become part of your retirement planning. We make plans for our finances for decades, but if you don't do anything for your health, it's all for naught. A fifth lesson from this, if you have moved to a country where you are not familiar, make sure you know where the health facilities are that you might need on an emergency, because the emergencies are when you find out how little you know. Know where you live and know what's around you, and especially when you're older. As I'm trying to wrap up this particular fail, another important lesson that I think you should be aware of is, if you live alone, have an idea or plan of what you're going to do if something happens at a very inconvenient time. If you're my age, you probably remember the commercial that I've fallen and I can't get up, and it's an old lady that's fallen and she has this button. We do have cell phones now, but sometimes you might not be in a situation where you can get that phone or call someone. So think about that. What you want to do is, you want to at least try and minimize the 95% of the potential issues you might have. Have someone you might call, and have someone that checks in on you. That's another thing that I've seen, how many people passed and it's, they don't find the person's body in the home for sometimes months or years. It's really crazy. So make sure there's someone that checks in on you, or you have a way to contact someone if you're in a bad situation. Cover 95% of the issues, 95% of the potential issues you might have. The 5%, you can't always be perfect, but you can at least have a good idea of what you're going to do and think through that. Ignoring the problem or the potential problem is not a plan. So that was my first health scare in early retirement. Only 3 months in. It's just a reminder that retirement isn't always about money. It's about staying healthy to enjoy the freedom that you've earned and worked so hard for. So that's this week's retirement fail, so you don't have to make it.